Okay, check. Testing, check. I always gotta wait for the delay. Okay, check. Testing, check. Alright. Hope everybody's doing well today on this Tuesday, November 22nd. We are back with more Andor talk, maybe a couple other things on the list. Star Wars news. Let me drop this down some more. But again, hope everybody has had a good weekend, safe weekend, humbling weekend, all of that, and definitely hope that this holiday week goes fairly good for everybody. For those of you who celebrate the holiday, at least. So, we got some predictions to talk about. Yes, indeed, we have some predictions to talk about per episode 12, per key characters, stuff that I want to see occur in in this finale. It's been already reported that the finale is supposed to be 54 minutes and some change long. That's including intros and outros. Per episode 12. Ultimate, definitely, the hot topic, like I put it in the community tab yesterday, with Bob Iger coming back into the Disney fold, and Paycheck getting kicked. But that's the hot topic for the week. But as far as Star Wars news, Andor dropping tomorrow, roughly 2:50 a.m., 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing the finale live stream of the watch party for that tomorrow. So if you are up at that time, definitely come through. Let's watch it together. Have it on my television in the background, trying to keep the volume down low because I think it was episode 9, I think was the one that got blocked because I had the volume, high, and it had the sound in the background and stuff like that. But when I think the stream or a couple streams prior to that was fine. So I don't know. Who knows? But per these predictions, it's just stuff that I want to see happen per this finale as we, prepare for the finale with the rumors too. Excuse me, that they possibly started production of season 2 yesterday. and they, if I remember correctly, they excuse me, drink some water. They, if I remember correctly, they did push out an article last week that I talked about, brought it up on the channel last week, where they were saying that season 2 was going to be basically way different than season 1. And I want to say specifically tone wise for season 1 compared to season 2. I want to believe that there could be possibly a shift. And we'll probably do some more streams and thoughts on season 2 in the coming future for sure. But what I feel is going to be happening in this final season, in these, I want to say roughly 48 minutes in total, because again, usually the intro is like what, roughly minute and a half, and then you figure the outro, the ending credits, are usually 5+ minutes long. So the report was that, we were getting the season finale for episode 1 being 54 minutes and some change, seconds wise. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's going to be like roughly 46, 47 minutes, 48 at best. And the rest is just, the ending credits. Will we see ending cutscene? Maybe, but again, that's not sorry guys, give me a second. That's not give me 1 second. Yeah. That's not usually, ending credits are usually not, Star Wars stuff. That's usually like the Marvel DC world. Star Wars is usually just, you get this and then you're just done. You're no longer talking about whatever it is, that you're talking about. Any key stuff that happened. But per these predictions, I want to see Derpy 501st. What's going on? you said I'm a bold one. Okay. But how are you? Hope you're doing well. I definitely want to see. Definitely for I want to put this out there first. I definitely want to see more Dedra, because she only had that one scene last week when it was talking about Marva and the funeral and stuff, and that was it. She's been so prominent in the earlier episodes that I felt glad that you're doing good. Definitely glad you're doing good. I felt that, I kind of felt like we were going to get more of her. Now, granted, they have been here and there showing Surreal when we're talking about, these two key characters who were, who had a moment, not the specific one that I definitely didn't like, but the one. You want to see Moth? Oh, you want to see Mon Moth? Are you saying like Mon Mothma do something with the Rebels? Oh, what you're saying. But I definitely want to see Dedra more. Maybe Dedra and Saru will have another scene. That's probably going to happen. But they had a specific conversation, when, and I love that scene when they first met. But when they met again, it was just like it threw stuff for a loop for me and many other viewers. But where I don't use the saying, but many fans called it cringe. I don't use that as my daily vocabulary. But I want to be able to see, because I've been patiently waiting for Surreal to get back into the game. He's literally been just like pushed to the side, back at home, just chilling, sulking, and everything. And then we had a moment where it seemed like he was gonna be back on the saddle, but then that's when his homie called him last week in last week's episode and giving him the update on Andor and his mother passing and stuff like that. And I felt like now, okay, this was the moment where he's just like, okay, he's getting back now. He's officially gonna more than likely get out there, do specific things, and make them make things start to really go and flow in his way. But again, I I was just hoping, I was wishing and hoping that Surreal would have had more of a push, that it wouldn't have been, what, 3 some odd episodes where he was just at home. Because I kind of felt like that they wanted us to care a little bit extra about him and his mother's relationship, which is totally fine. But I just felt like there needed to be something in place that should have unctioned him to go out and do extra things. Besides, having a conversation with Dedra just outside of the ISB. Like, they could have probably shown him, like I was saying, phoning in a call or something like that, going to other people that may work at Isaac. What's going on, dude? How are you? How are you today? As long as Surreal not being able to hear what Surreal was really saying was so funny. It was hilarious. It really was. And again, my hope is that, my thought on that was that I was hoping that they would have shown Surreal doing some extra stuff, even when it pertained to other ISB members, to show that he was desperate to get back into the game. So that just didn't happen. I believe too that Mothma, I'm gonna fix this real quick. I'm gonna come off of camera here. Bringing up Mothma, I do believe now, since we didn't get it in episode 11 this past, last Wednesday, because that's what I thought was going to happen. That wasn't the case. I do feel like, per my prediction with her, that we're going to have the meeting between Davos' son and Lita, the daughter, here in the finale. I think it's going to happen. It's probably going to be more than one scene. And maybe Mothma will be able to try to talk her way out of it. I know that we have, Lita having that specific class because she specifically wanted to do it. Mothma didn't like it, and it's more so seemingly like, because we talked about it last week, where she was around her dad more than Mothma a lot, that I felt like that was like one of the reasons why she decided to start those classes. What I showed the stuff he had already done earlier was paying off with the phone call. I felt like it was, but I guess I was just like, I think for me, when it's pertaining to Sorrel, I felt like I was getting a little impatient. That's what I'm really trying to say. Because he, like I said, he was just like chilling at home the whole time. Because it made me feel like we were just like watching him do his regular spill at home. Like they could have been, it felt like they were showing him like, oh, the next thing would be him being at home, going to the bathroom, using the restroom or something else. We seen Lita wearing the braid from the start, right? This means that she had already been participating in the prayer groups since before the start of the show. That definitely could be the case too. I just think with that though, I think like I don't think we needed to see it more than just from episode 11. I don't think we needed to see that occur. But as we see this scene here, we know that, that this was indeed, yes, this was indeed occurring prior to episode 11. Um, but I'm kind of curious as to if that meet and greet does occur, what will what will Lita's response be to that? Will she have a specific conversation with Mothma and be defiant? Say Mothma says to her, like, "Is this really what you want to do? Do you really want to go through with this meet and greet? I know you just started these classes, roughly within a month. Blah blah blah. You've been kind of defiant. This, that, and the third. Uh, what will that conversation be? If that conversation does happen, if the meet and greet does happen in the finale tomorrow morning. I'm just curious. I really am curious, but I do believe, like I said, I do believe that the meet and greet is going to more likely happen in the season finale at least. Also, too, are they going to be? I'm bringing this up now, but I'll talk more about specific characters that I think, but I don't want to happen. I don't want this to happen to them, but I think will happen. I believe that there's going to be one or two major deaths, or just key deaths in this finale. We know that for sure there's going to be a revolt at the funeral. Episode 11 was about Vel seeing the cost of Aldani. Right. Yeah, as me and you talked about that before, more so than Mon. Mon already know, right? People who saw the scene as a retread don't understand that this was about Vel, right? Because Vel she did need to know the true stuff and cost that Mothma was going through at the time, because it really did get serious. It really did. What I also want to see happen, though, is I know that we had this specific scene. I wanted to upload the scene. I'm probably more than likely going to do it anyway, just because I want to give my thoughts on it specifically. But Clea had her own semi-Luthen episode 10 great speech type of a spot in episode 11 last week, where she was talking to Vel at the time here. But I kind of want to see Clea get a little bit more involved. She's been more so like, because there's been a lot of people that have been wondering if Luthen has like a child, son, a daughter, somebody within the ends of the game itself, of his rebellion that he's putting together. People have been questioning, is it Vel, is it Clea, is it Lonnie? People have been questioning that, because Clea has been like in his corner, how she's been having specific conversations with Luthen on how he's carrying himself, how he's functioning. I kind of feel like, and I think I've seen a few other people talk about how they felt like Clea was really the one that was like pulling the strings of the mission. But I feel like Clea is doing a great job where she's at. But if she got and she did a little bit extra, I wouldn't mind seeing her do that in this finale. I think Vel will survive episode 12 because of the story connection. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna go. I don't think. That scene really sets up a future power struggle between Clea and Vel. One of the few things we know about Vel from the start was that she wanted a leadership position. Indeed. Yep, indeed. And she was very upset that Luthen brought Cassian into the fold at the time. But again, maybe Clea will get a little bit more involved in this finale here. Also, once again, poor B. Some real like emotions from the little guy here. Like, just sucks. It really just sucks. Let's see. Vel's motivation seems somewhat Hamilton inspired. The fastest way up is through glory and war. Nice. Because she has been basically, the leader of up to that, up until the heist finalized, basically. And then this it's been, her and Senta, and then of course now they split up. Maybe let me see. Now I did talk about this last week that, they Senta and your boy in the back, I can't remember his name. Like, they are both here every because specific people are waiting for Cassian to show up. He's gonna show up at the funeral. That's gonna happen. But he's probably gonna show up probably around the time the revolt happens. But at the same time, he could show up just before. And then that's when things are gonna get really interesting. Once things, I don't know. Now the key question is, what sparks the revolt? That is the key question. What's gonna spark the revolt once it does start? And I think it's gonna be just one of the lower ranked people messing with one of the Ferrex people, and then that's when it just goes off from there. Now, even though Melshi disappeared, Dedra kicks B2. I hope not, right? That's what we hope. Let's see. And I also feel like Bix is going to get back into it. It's just going to take her a little bit extra time. Because I think I did talk about that last week. That she's just a whole lot of worn out. She needs like a month to recuperate from, the white noise torture stuff that she's been going through. Because this lets me know that they did this to her more than once. That's why she looks the way that she looks. It hasn't been just one time. And the only time that they gained that information from her, and then they just like moved on with her. No, they kept her under heavy guard, and they more than likely just kept doing it to her, just trying to see if they can get any more key information out of her. Will we see Krieger? I believe that we will. Even if it's brief. Where did it go? I just had it. This is as far as I can tell, this is an unknown actor for me. As far as the Krieger character is concerned, I believe that Krieger will show up. I feel like it could be roughly a 2 to 3 minute scene between him, Saul, and Luthen. Some specific key men in the room. Maybe something goes off, sparks just like their own, like sort of similar to a revolt per the funeral, but who knows for sure. Not again. Yeah. But I think I don't know as far as like, because again, they brought up Krieger so many times. I feel like Krieger could show up in season 2 as well. Maybe just a quick spot where they give us the view of what he actually looks like outside of this hologram, and he may say something, and it's more so like a cliffhanger of them saying, okay, he's gonna be coming into the fold the next season. I just talked to one of my buddies, he's a Star Wars fan too, and we talk about Andor, and he got he I don't know if it'll show up in the comments here, but he was saying that he's upset. He's like, if they're gonna do an extra season at any given point when it's not just pertaining to Andor, just period, these seasons should be coming out every year. Since if the rumors are true that they started production on season 2 yesterday, so season 2 won't be coming until 2024. More than likely, maybe possibly fall of 2024, since season 1 dropped fall of 2022. Now I know I did a video on this yesterday. Um, sorry. No, what am I saying? Not yesterday. 2 days ago, where it was talking about, because it's just been something that fans have been curious about. Is because I keep bringing it up. The Force, the Jedi, the Sith. It hasn't been needed in the show. The stories themselves, these characters themselves, have been great. So a small hint at Luthen possibly being a Force user is fine, but I feel like it shouldn't over. It shouldn't take precedence to the main core of what this show is about. It's literally the more so the political side, the more dramatic side, more so than the flashy side of things when it's pertaining to entertainment and Star Wars, where many of us have just loved this show simply because it's 90 to 95% dialogue and 10 to 5% action. And I'm gonna keep saying it. Probably gonna do a video on it, and more than likely do a stream about it too. I'm hoping that we do indeed get. I gotta find it. Give me a second. A lot of that, and that's the thing, guys. A lot of stuff that I do as far as streams, as far as videos, I don't have. I have to work at it. Something I'm just not used to doing. Because like I keep every now and then I keep mentioning my my other channel that I have, that I've been pretty much been a content creator over there for roughly almost 6 years now, maybe 5 if I can remember. Anytime I do these videos and streams, I never have notes, scripts, or anything. I just go off of what's on the top of my head. J Money, what is going on? How are you? Welcome back to another stream. Glad that you're here. Hope they don't add Force elements. The universe, after all, is heavy non-Force users, and they deserve their stories. They definitely do, because there are plenty of stories out there that don't have any Jedi, any Sith, any Force, none of that stuff in it, and the stories are like almost perfect. Give me a moment here. I'm looking for, I think it's, yeah. Like I keep saying, guys, I want to hopefully see in the coming over the next few years, I would say roughly 2 to 3 years, that we will get a if it is indeed happening, cool, great, and we get it just a little bit early. But the hope is that we do get a show specifically on the ISB. I definitely want to see the ISB again in the finale for season 1. Like I said, I want to see Dedra. I want to actually see Partagas more, a little bit more and definitely maybe another scene with you, Lauren. I'm still hoping that maybe possibly they'll mention Agent Callis, but it's probably not going to happen. You know, it's probably not going to happen as well, unless it does happen in season 2. But it's probably not going to happen at all, which is a small, very small mention of at least just a name drop of Grand Admiral Thrawn. You know, my homie, which he will definitely be a mainstay on the channel. I know I've talked about him a couple of times here on the channel specifically. He is my favorite non-force user out of any Star Wars uh, thing. So so yeah, hopefully we will get more ISB moving forward. That's the hope. Definitely in the season finale, we will be able to see this room, see what they're talking about, and then go from there. Uh, the ISB is definitely iconic. That would be cool. Have them solving mysteries and solve crime in NCIS style. Yeah, yeah. Why not? Um, so yeah, and the reason why I bring up the ISB two is simply because they brought him up in episode 10 because I'm curious to see, because they put it out there, and the writing has been so great, direction has been so great with these specific characters, right? That I am wondering what is going to happen with Lonnie once he starts going back to the ISB headquarters and stuff like that, because we get this specific scene with him and Luthen, right, in episode 10. But if we go back, let's backtrack to, let's see, it's episode 4. Maybe I didn't grab it. If we go back to episode 4, right? Just a regular response to Partagas when he talked about Scarif. Just a simple small mention. And, he pops in here and there. Roughly, 2 or 3 extra times. And I'm now wondering and questioning what's going to happen once we do get extra scenes with him back at the ISB. How is he going to be moving around amongst amongst the the other supervisors, Partagas himself, maybe Yularen. That's my question for about Lonnie's character. How will he be acting once he gets back amongst his ISB peers? Is he going to be a little bit sweaty, anxious, nervous, or is he going to be able to still look the way he looks, acts, talks, and all of that, how he has been in prior episodes? Because again, like I keep saying, and including, in the video that I did on the scene with him and Luthen, that I was fully duped. I didn't even see him being a part of the rebellion. So his character was written really well. And I just love it. And that's why we can say, like, Luthen as a character himself, like I keep talking about, Luthen is a chameleon, right? He is able to do specific things, set specific things up. To be able to manage how he operates and functions as a character. I'm going to see. And I have to use a specific image when he's blurting it out. He's yelling it out, everything, right? Because it's such an iconic scene. And it's just how he talks when he's conversating with Saul, and he says stuff like, you know, I've been, Krieger, I've I've met Krieger, and I've been in the same room as him, and he doesn't even know it. Has specific key people around him. Luthen has been doing this, setting things up, all of that, for the past 15 years. Give me 1 second, guys. One quick moment here. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, you know, I'm, I'm loving. I have to come back on camera. Yes, I'm cold. I don't have my heat on. But I'm loving how the direction of the show has gone, and per these key characters and how they function and operate and flow. But like I said, I feel like I do feel like Luthen's gonna survive. He's gonna be in season 2, but he might not be around that long or longer. Will we see Kino? Great question. Probably, maybe, possibly not. The hope is that we do get at least some small clarity as to if his character is okay after everybody had left Narkina 5, but probably, maybe, possible, not get another scene with him, specifically more so in the season finale. But I would love if we did. Um, so so yeah, I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, the hope is that we will see our homie Kino get some clarity behind his character, that they just, like I said last week, that they just prolonged his sentence, um, because he helped these specific prisoners escape. But again, many fans were just like, why don't you just grab him? I literally just had a buddy that he's a former neighbor of mine. Him and his girlfriend moved technically just a few blocks away from where I live, and I ran into him today after work, and we were talking about Kino, and he, yeah, Isaac, I doubt we will, but he was just saying, like, I feel like, he was saying, like, because I told him, I was like, I'm Kino, like, I can't swim. He was like, yeah, I got you, man. I would have grabbed you. We would have jumped in the water, and I would have showed you how to turn your shirt into like a water raft. I was cracking up. Um, so yeah, thought that was funny. Now, what? Here's the other question that I have, because They showed this. They showed this in the uh, episode 10. The 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 bottom part of Coruscant. Could we possibly get more of this moving forward? Because we always see the top part of Coruscant, the beautiful parts, beautiful sides of Coruscant. Um, uh, that is another question that maybe we will see that in season two. Because we're probably more than likely not going to see the lower depths of Coruscant, unless like Lonnie goes back down there to have another brief conversation with Luthen a bit later in the show. Um, I honestly don't think they would make it a habit. Michael Bernard, Michael Bernard, what's going on? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I watched the original Blade Runner like once, but this was like 20 some odd years ago. So I have to rewatch it. I've been meaning to rewatch it. So I have to rewatch it. Let me see what was that. That's the door closing. I want the guess like right here. Yeah, I don't think that they would make this a habit of having Lonnie just continue to have a secret meeting with Luthen again. Just because, again, per the conversation with him and Clea in episode 10, when she brought it up to him, is that, Luthen's response was, it's been over a year. So he's been out of contact for this long. And then he finally decided to come in contact with Luthen because he wanted to talk about his daughter and saying he wanted out. So I don't think that they would do that. They would have him meet again in the finale. But, again, my questions are, will we see Lonnie, his demeanor, his posture, and everything change once he gets back amongst the ISP peers? That is my question at hand. And like I said too, I'm gonna bring him up again. Kind of just wanted to get his image up here. Is that I believe Dalvo might more than likely be in the season finale tomorrow with his son. Kind of curious who's playing his son. So I'm kind of wondering that one too. Will him and Mothma have a specific conversation about some things other than just the meet and greet with the son and the daughter? So the meet might be the merge building. Okay. Because I honestly feel like, guys, I feel like we are officially done with Narkina 5 unless they bring it back up in season 2. Sidious's hideout. Well, we don't need we don't need to see Palpatine, because the show has just been working really great without the main key characters from any of the actual other films. And I'm also wondering too. This was the other thing that I'm wondering. It's just it's more like a small wonder though. It's not like a huge thing. Because Dedra had back at the ISB, right? Is this no wait. Go back. No, that's fine. I think this is it. When Dedra had tried to hand Partagas the pad here, he walked by her. would she bring that up? Because I definitely found that interesting. I wanted to talk about that in the video, but I didn't get the chance. I wanted to I want to I want to possibly see her talk to him about that. Because it was like he literally like ignored her, but then listened to Lonnie, and I'm just curious and wondering like would she possibly question? Again, it's just real small that I'm just like maybe we'll see that happen. What would his response be? Because he has been backing her this whole time, and she's been pretty thorough in how she's done her job. Um, she had a minor fail, but for the most part, most of everything that she's done has been successful for per her position, the job, and everything, and what she's been trying to get to, as far as information is concerned. So I'm just like wondering if she would bring up this moment, like, hey, like, I was bringing this information to you, but you kind of like just like ignore me. What was that about? But again, Protogoss has definitely been backing her. Once she proved to him that she could get the job, do things and be able to do them, get the job done. And of course, the next question is, will we see Saul? I think we will, because I did talk about that. They're going to be probably having Krieger show up. They may have Luthen and Saul in the room with Krieger to have the specific conversation that they want to have with him. Um, I'll just use this one. I just don't like that it did that. But I do think that if they do have the meeting with Krieger, that it would be all three of them in the room plus Saul's men, maybe somebody or a couple of people specific, maybe even Clea, all of them in the room with Krieger to have whatever conversation they want to have with him, talking, bringing up Spellhouse, all of that. But I think that will occur. That's my prediction for at some point within the season finale, that they will actually show Krieger, because they've been bringing him up, unless they make his character be a bit more prominent in season 2. Still have him, maybe possibly still have him do a meeting between him and Saul and Luthen, but then Krieger will show up more in season 2, because like I said at the beginning of the stream, that they were talking about season 2 having, the tone and stuff being different than season 1. So that kind of makes me feel like now, because season 1 was more so just a build up to season 2 anyway, that they're going to actually change the tone. This is my guess, is that they're going to change the tone from being so dialogue heavy to now having like 50% dialogue, 50% action in the second season, as we're preparing to finalize those last few episodes in the second season to prepare us to walk into Rogue One. So we'll see. Definitely in many hours from now, once the season 1 finale arrives. Will we see Melshi? Probably. He might pop up. They did split up. I think I have Yes, and then that's literally when Tarkin walked through the door and mentioned that the Senate was no longer. I literally did a video on that a week or two ago, talking about how Palpatine basically he was because we were seeing the Senate just falling apart whenever Mothma would go out and talk about what she wanted to express to the Senate and what she wanted them to focus on. That we could see that the Senate was falling, basically starting to fall apart. See, look at the guy's shirt. What about Melshi's shirt? Would I wear that shirt? I'm kind of wondering. Is that my style of shirt? Death Star patterns, nice. Let me see if I can find. Yeah. So per the Senate itself, um, like I said, per the video even that I was talking about, like Palpatine was starting to have such a major effect on the Senate as a whole that people were picking his side, other people weren't, and they weren't listening to Mothma and what she was talking about. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and of course those lights were going out and everything. So, this is the things they were making. So, Imperial logo is nice. So yeah, remember the old school? Yeah, the old school jungle gyms. Yeah, I remember those too. Will we see another Senate scene? Maybe. It's a possibility, but is could Mothma be, if she's gonna speak, could she be mentally, excuse me, could she be mentally focused to do so? Uh, or more on point, it looks like a mesh made out of those things they were making in the prison. That could be the thing. Let's go back and look at this. Let's see. Let's see. Let me get. Maybe that was just like a nod to the prison, though, to Narkina Five itself, and the making that. Let's see. Let me look at that again, because I don't have. Let's go with the hug, the little hug that they do. I guess this is good enough. Let's see. This kind of works out, even though I would have to fix it. Let's see. It does look. The pattern itself sort of does look like. Hmm. Actually, it looks like the Narkina 5 sites, like the shape. Now I'm really looking at it. If you really pay attention to the patterns and stuff, kind of looks like that. Let me just fit that. Yeah, it kind of looks like the shape. Yeah, nice, nice. But I think that we might see Melshi. He might pop up at the funeral, but who knows? He might be done with the season and he'll pop up in season 2 as they're preparing. We'll gain more of Cassian and Melshi building their relationship, um, moving forward. That's seven sizes, not say okay. So I wasn't even counting. I should count it right. Yeah, yeah, we remember the jungle gyms. Yeah, a small critique on these two characters. I enjoyed the aliens here, the language that they were using, but it was just like it seemed like it was just a placement because they got captured. They captured Cassian and Melshi, seeming like they were gonna hurt them, and they were like, "Oh, you know what? We're gonna take you where you need to go." I definitely didn't like that about that, but the look of the characters. One of them, I think, was somebody specific, at least voiced they were voiced. The one on the right here, he was voiced by somebody specific. I can't remember. I thought I heard that he was voiced by somebody from like 2 episodes ago or something like that. I can't remember. So if I can figure it out, I will bring that up. Well, what they were making is more than likely something for the Death Star, because the Tie Fighter themselves has a specific shape, and those things that they were creating uh, doesn't fit the actual what you call it. Let me see. Give me a moment. I'm actually trying to find, because I thought I had. Hmm. Yeah, so if we really look at this, like, this doesn't look like something that could fit a Tie Fighter. Just being honest, because it's just the way that it's shaped. Like, they're just building, or basically building around it or whatever. So it just wouldn't look like Tie Fighter ish, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much either a Star Destroyer, but basically mainly Death Star. But somebody did mention to, I can't remember specifically who, like nobody made like somebody left a comment saying like, what if they what if so they were saying, somebody was saying this specifically. They were saying like, what if the Empire, per Narkina 5, which again, this is totally left field, but it more than likely isn't true, because again, like we're saying, it's more than likely because they were using it for the Death Star, to create the Death Star. But they were saying, what if they had them building these things, whatever the heck that these things are, and they had them go through the assembly line and build them, and then sent them out, and there was something on the outside of these rooms, like 5D and stuff like that, that disassembled them, all of the parts, to then send them back to just do like a, a cycle of constant building the same thing. It was just a comment that I saw, that I was supposed to do a video on, but I forgot. I'm more than likely to do it again. I'm more than likely to do it anyway. But it was just something that I found interesting that somebody had mentioned. Just like, that would be like really messed up, because basically what they were saying is that the reason why they would do this is to just basically torture these inmates for whatever their the crimes within society itself. Now, I know that we've had many people talk about, there's no aliens here at the Narkina 5 itself. It's all humans. But again, people were saying like there might be some specific aliens that are not that are uh, that aren't capable of being like electrocuted, per the system they have in place, that could hurt and harm regular normal human beings. Which I believe, I don't know if it was you, Isaac, or somebody else. If Isaac, if you're still here, somebody had mentioned that they heard that they did indeed actually use real voltage, per the scenes, to make sure that when they did get quote unquote electrocuted, that it was actually like their responses were actually genuine. So when we really look at um, the image and the picture of let's see, I think it's, no, it's not that one. I think it's 8. Is it 8? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Why does that do that every time? So when we really look at the the spot here, is that the right? The person who made that comment said he was just. Oh, okay. See, I didn't even see their what you call it. So again, maybe they did. Who knows? But at the same time, that's all like um. So it's basically all in timing, though. You have them doing this and saying like, okay, we're going to time it, and then there's like a specific like a I don't know push of a button, a light or something, and it goes off, and that lets them know to react when the guy pushes the button to supposedly hurt them. Okay, I think we're getting a little bit sidetracked, but um, I think that we honestly, guys, I think we covered everything. Um, those of us charged the floor, yeah. However, in Star Wars YouTube videos, they explain that the manufacturing sequence all had to work, all practical effects, right? No, don't want to put your tongue on it. No, don't want to do that. That would be bad. It would be really bad. Very, very bad. Even even if you decide to do the whole floor, that would be bad. I think that we covered, like I said, stuff like the pieces raising up from below, tools hanging from above. Yeah, right. So, oh, I almost forgot. Could we? Where are you? Hold on, I'm trying to get it. Where the heck did it go? I'll just use this one for sure. Could we get more of Luthen flying around doing stuff with his ship? So we always get we do. I feel like every other or every 2 episodes we have Luthen flying in his ship, right? Yeah. Um, because again, this is the highlight, one of the main highlights of episode 11. Could we see him? Could we see another brief space battle out in space? Could be possibly the case, but then again, may not even happen at all. But could we see him doing some space battling in space again? Possibly could happen. Because I definitely didn't want to forget to talk about this in my prediction for the finale. Because I'm curious. I'm wondering. I wouldn't mind seeing him flying around doing this thing again. But again, it does. I think I did question this in last week. That wondering too, when he uses specific these specific lasers, aka lightsabers, people thinking that he's a force user, blah blah blah. That what is the recharge time? Does he need several hours? Is this like a one-time thing and then he can't use it again? Blah blah blah. And actually, yes, Isaac, I did. I was gonna put that on the channel yesterday, but I forgot. Um, was it yesterday? Was it today? I can't remember. Cause that's that that video was, it was beautiful. That took me back, man. I miss those type of openings. I really miss that main body. It is. Hold on, let me see. Will this guy? Will we see here? Let's bring him up. Will we see him get demoted? Cause yeah, you mess up like that in such a way, you're losing your job more than likely, or just you losing. Maybe we will see, yeah, the pew pew pew. Maybe we'll see that occur, but probably more than likely won't. We're just assuming that that will be what happens. And as far as cashing is concerned, like I said, they're gonna go back. They're gonna go back to Ferrex. It's gonna go to the funeral. It's gonna happen. It has to happen, right? Um, and they he's gonna be he's gonna be there, but he's more likely gonna show up probably either just before the revolt happens or around the time. But again, who knows for sure? I don't really necessarily know. So we'll see what happens with him. Um, but it's probably going to more than likely be a sad funeral. Because I'm still curious about that underground tunnel that Marvel was talking about. We may get that uh, probably, maybe possibly in season two though, with the underground tunnel stuff. But um, and that's my other question too, as far as Andor is concerned. With we get Narkina 5, we get Aldani, Ferrex. Will we will we possibly see uh, other planets, other um, areas of the galaxy that basically they've added? Because Aldani is a new planet that they decided to add within the world of Star Wars, as far as to my knowledge. So I could probably say the same thing about Ferrex too. So will they give us other new planets that they decided to just randomly create? I'm just curious about that. There are these short character things that they've been pushing out over the past almost 20 hours. I'm probably going to work on compiling a whole video, because there's like 5 or 6 of them in total so far. Probably try to compile and see if those will stick and they won't get blocked, and I'll just compile them into one whole video per the actors giving their take on the characters. So we'll see about that. Like Isaac, like you were talking about with the Andor 1975, I was actually gonna upload that to the channel today. It's really really short, but it's really really dope. Whomever this creator is, I like all credit to them, because that was dope. I love that video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. The Aldani 1975, specifically the fan made openings, just freaking just like dope and cool. Took me back to when I was a kid. Like it really really did, with some specific shows and how the openings were. It was just like really 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 dope. But I think, because I'm getting a little tired and I kind of want to, I might, it's off topic. I got this because again, like I mentioned, I have an anime channel. I have this anime book here, manga book that I got in the mail today. probably going to read a little bit of the pages of that. We'll go from there. But I definitely need to get some Star Wars comic books. But I need to do that. I need to get that done because I don't have any currently. This is usually before. It's 5 years before Rogue One, but the timeline keeps moving up. Months have been going by. I want to say it's only been a year at best. I could be wrong, or within the first year. I don't think like time has sped up so fast that we're like in year 3 or 4. So if I remember correctly to that article that we read, yeah. So yeah, it's the first year. So season 2 is going to be focused on the next 4 years once it actually debuts, because it's just interesting enough that they decided to go with that route, because Gilroy did say that it was a plan of his to have more than more than 2 seasons. Basically, he's supposed to have like I think 5 years, like 5 seasons in total, where they focus on everything in each year. So it's supposed to be. He was saying it was supposed to be like 5 seasons worth of Andor, but that they just decided to drop it down to 2, and that's just a lot of work to be able to pour into. Even a 12 season thing where they're pouring 4 years worth of work, that's still, I feel like that's still a lot. So we'll see what occurs. But those are my predictions for the finale for tomorrow. More Dedra. Funeral's gonna be the revolt. Maybe, possibly, but I don't think it's really gonna happen. Maybe possibly another conversation between Lonnie and Luthen, but I really doubt it's gonna happen. Maybe possibly Luthen have another space battle, but that's probably not gonna happen either. Surreal more than likely will probably do something or a few things. I feel like he will. This is more so his redemption back into the game, into the fold, getting back on that side of pride. Losing my train of thought because I'm getting tired even more. Focus, all of that. I feel like he will truly get out there and make things work in his favor, to be able to get back into the Empire and make it do what it do. So that's what I'm thinking. And I don't know, I feel like I talked about a few things, but then got sidetracked on some other stuff when I tried to stay on course. But if you are up at 2:50 a.m., 3:50 a.m., 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, stop on by the channel. I'll be live. Usually nobody is around. A couple people pop in, and just like we're watching, lurking. But I'll still do the live stream, even though the watch parties haven't been successful here on the channel, and it's fine. But we will be watching the season finale starting roughly hopefully at 2:50 a.m. tomorrow. And then I'll be working on my usual. Like I said, I will be uploading a video on Thanksgiving, because that's what I specifically do. I'm like, y'all getting this video, son. I don't care. I don't care if it's a holiday. You're getting this video. Whatever video it is that I decide to push out, and it hopefully doesn't get blocked. In the past couple of weeks, a couple of my videos have been getting blocked, and I have to trim them down, which is fine. I understand. But as always, that's my risk that I'm taking when making content here on the channel. Because I know I don't own the content. It's not mine. I'm just supporting, Star Wars, because it's my first love, ever since I was a kid. But definitely videos will be pushed out. Definitely a video the day of, which is tomorrow, for sure. Whatever one I decide to push out, and then another video on Thursday, and then another one on Friday, and then I'll probably look to work on something different other than Andor for Saturday, maybe Sunday, and we will definitely look to have a live stream discussion of the season finale of episode 12 on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, same time, roughly around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, after I get home from work. But I'll be pouring a lot of time over the next 48 hours to try to get a lot of this stuff compiled into stuff. But I hope you all have a good and great holiday. If you celebrate the holiday for this year for Thanksgiving, hope it's a safe one, a humbling one. Um, Definitely thoughts, positive vibes, all of that to those who have family that are no longer here, that they probably more than likely uh, were used to spending specific key time together with those family members during these holiday seasons, specifically this one coming up, and then of course the next one following the next month in December, because we are not getting any older. We're getting excuse me, we're not getting any younger. We're getting older, and Father Time is ultimately undefeated. And it sucks that people pass away. R.I.P. to JDF, Jason David Frank. It's part of my childhood. Um, I loved Power Rangers a lot until after all of the main cast left, and then I just stopped watching. Probably miss out on some other good or possibly great Power Rangers stuff, but they just weren't the original crew, so I just kind of just stopped. But it was still cool to hear that Jason had came back to reprise the role of Tommy's on many many occasions. But it just sucks that he passed away the way he did. So yeah, it is right. It really really is. That's why I sometimes tell some friends like, hey, if you find the fountain of youth, let me know. Let me take a sip. Definitely give me a sip, because I still want to age, as far as age wise, like get older, like age wise, but I don't want to feel and get older, like physically, because yeah, I mean it's gonna happen, but and even some people are even luckier than many and most to be able to live uh, past 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100 years old. I've met some 100 years old people in my lifetime. So, I that experience alone just kind of lets you know, like, man, like they experience some things in their life for them to live this long. Hopefully some positive stuff came out of that lifetime that they spent here on this earth. But enough of my off-topic stuff. I'm getting ready to go to bed in roughly a half hour or so I can get ready to get up at 2:10 in the morning, get up, get myself ready and prepared to watch this season finale, roughly close to an hour long. I can't wait. It's just gonna suck because we won't have anything Star Wars wise until January when Bad Batch season 2 drops, but I'll be covering that too on the channel. We'll be doing live streams, stuff like that, just same stuff, and going from there. We'll see what happens. But enjoy the rest of the evening and night, guys. Get some rest. If you're on the East Coast like me, getting ready to, and it's like almost 8 o'clock, 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes away. But everywhere else, hope you stay safe, stay humble. And if I don't see you, chat with you, or anything like that over the next 48 hours, enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy it all as much as you can. And as always, guys, remember the Force will be with you always. Peace, guys.